If you haven't already noticed, I am enamored with our Flow State Lorien Stock Up FLS shell. Let's go back a step and go for some Tinker action. All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to another FLS Flow State Lorien Reveal Stock Up gaming experience. I'm kind of moving away from the controlling versions of the Flow State Stock Up. Didn't feel like it was really utilizing your Mox and mana in a way that felt strong. That being said, I did do an off-stream test league with a frog-based controlling version of the deck, and it seemed reasonable. So if you're looking for maybe an edge to gain in the frog mirror, it makes sense to maybe swap your build to be more FLS centered. That being said, I found that the frog version didn't really beat Lurrus PO, so it didn't really help your worst matchup. And I kind of hated how little it had oops, I win conditions. So I'm going to go back and revisit the Esper Tinker version of the deck that we were looking at. A little less all in on the forces, but still 6 forces in our version here, and taking some of the lessons we learned along the way and seeing if we can apply them going back into this version. So I will say that I've been thinking a lot about different kinds of how this actually changes the metagame, and the biggest thing is that Flow State Stock Up is really weak to Fluster Pyro Pierce. So it kind of almost incentivizes people to go back towards classic Jeskai Lurrus PO. So maybe this doesn't actually even do anything to the metagame, even if it's a valid and powerful way to build your decks. That's kind of a weird way to think about it. But I can't remember the exact changes we've made since the initial Esper Tinker video, but I've got a portable hole in the main. I think there was like the prismatic ending. I'm going to try out getting this balance in here, and I'm definitely going to keep a Vexing Bauble because I feel like if everyone's going to play 8 forces, then Vexing Bauble just gets really strong. I've got no Surveil land, but 2 basic islands. I want to be able to keep building out my mana base against Wasteland, so we're going to try that. I didn't choose to put the basic planes in the board, but maybe a basic planes is necessary as well. I have to think about that. I like having a variety of different Dredge Hate, but not going all in on ley lines. I do have 2 different Tinker targets to help up against mono white, and still have an extra choice here maybe against Dredge. But one of the bigger things is being able to get like a blue card off of Karn is pretty nice. So still some amount of artifact hate, but probably a little bit on the low side for something like, Sphere Shops. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But I did have 2 portable holes, so that might help against Sphere Shops. So, and the full suite of Swords to Plowshares for mono white as well. Mostly looking to see how the tech pieces play, things like Balance, Portable Hole, Mentor, Karn. And then, of course, we're still always going to keep evaluating this Flow State Stock Up shell and see how it fares into the Vintage metagame. More testing coming up. I'll see you in round 1. I am happy to announce the dates for high-stakes, proxy-friendly Vintage in 2026. The legendary NYSE returns to Long Island in New York on June 6th. This $500 entry fee tournament will pay out 8 pieces of unlimited power. The Oklahoma Land Run returns in 2026 on July 10th through 12th at the Reed Convention Center in Oklahoma City. Play Friday Team Trios, Saturday Legacy for a Mox Sapphire, and Sunday Vintage for a Mox Emerald. Event links can be found in the description below. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. All right, let's do some more combo killing. We don't have a cat. We are Tinker pilled today. Maybe that will be bad for us. Maybe it won't. Let's see. To be fair, we don't actually have to be Mentor Karn Tinker. We could just play Lurrus and try to go a little harder in that direction. That's kind of the beauty of this shell, is that you can just do whatever the hell you want in it. Because all you're really doing is playing blue draw spells, blue lands, and blue forces. So however you want to win, whatever way winning makes the most sense in the current format, it can be accomplished. So That's kind of why I've been not, delving into the frog versions of this deck, is because I'm not that big of a fan of frog in vintage. I think frog is extremely good against decks that are not removing frog. Playing against like a shop deck or something, obviously frog is insane. But then when you line up against the other Lurrus decks, where you're lining up against the frog mirror or against Lurrus PO, frog becomes a huge liability. So it's quite hard to say. We got a Lurrus across the table, so I'm going to keep this. Obviously not like the strongest hand of any, And one thing we have to keep an eye on in this league as well is no surveil land. I'm trying out no surveil land just because of like the fetches Lorien situation. I have like way more lands than I do have fetches because I have Loriens. I don't want my Loriens to be dead, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's like a good enough reason to not have a surveil land, but I am going in that direction. Like here, being able to like surveil an instant into my yard and turn on flow state would be, for the second turn, would be pretty nice. If it's a combo-oriented deck, our hand is a little bit lacking. I think I am just going to go with fetch a basic island and cast flow state and just try to get moving here. But it's unclear if that's actually a good idea or not. Obviously, it's anticipate mentor next turn. Seems reasonable enough. But obviously not a powerful hand by any means. Hexing Bobble's fine. Means our mentor resolves. Because our mentor is not spell pierceable, which is nice. Will I be throwing this Mox to get a prowess token? Probably. Are we cracking our bobble? No. All right. So the question becomes, is this a frog outing or is there some kind of combos happening? Which I guess is going to be the big question for a very long time. Looks like combos are happening. Stock up. That's actually a decent sign. And if my opponent doesn't actually have spell piercers in their deck, maybe we can Karn them. But they could also just be on frog control with Tolarian Academy stock up. Like that's something I talked about in the beginning of the video, and something I've done some testing off stream on, and it's very viable. It's still viable, but is it the best way to build it? Don't know. Does it even matter if it's the best way to build it? I don't know. No current answer to Monastery Mentor at the moment. I am interested in casting Karn and seeing how far we can get with that. If that resolves, I feel like we're in a decent spot. If it doesn't resolve, I feel like we are in trouble. Because we don't have any... Opponent is just off it. So just no forces from the opponent. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I mean, Mentor Karn. Very slow Mentor Karn. Very odd. Bring in a trap. Just because it seems like opponent might be on a combo-oriented deck, but it's tough to say. And because they're on a combo-oriented deck, I'm actually going to keep in my tutors. I think the island and the balance are less good. Though I don't know. Kind of like the idea of being able to portable hole, though. So let's try that. It's a little unclear to me how I'm supposed to board for this matchup if it's like a combo-oriented Lurrus deck. One thing I'd really like to get into my deck is maybe some more Mystical Disputes, maybe some more Flusterstorms. If we're not going to be red for Pyroblast, those seem like the things that make the most sense. Where's my light? Let there be light. I hope that thing wasn't muted the whole time. That would make me really sad. That would be the perils of playing off stream, huh? Oh boy. Yeah, so it depends. Like if there are creatures that matter, like then we want balance, but I don't know. There's a force, there's a fluster, 2 fetches. We have classic Lorien and flow state and some instance. I mean, this is a nice Lorien. This is a nice flow state hand, right? This is kind of why we would like to be on flow state. Let's see what we can do. Opponent mulligan there. 7 on the play with Lurrus. Opponent thinking about their 6. All right, here we go. 6 card start. Ruby. Yes. I'll keep Ancestral. Definitely gonna force it. Okay. That's our instant in our yard. We get to hold open flow state here. Hold open Flusterstorm, and then if we don't have to use Flusterstorm, we can cycle Lorien and play flow state on the next turn here. Hopefully they just play stock up into our Flusterstorm, and it's a huge win. Thundertrap Trainer. Okay, so maybe this is like a Grixis PO deck, maybe? Certainly an avenue you can take. You can do whatever you want. Makes me a little hesitant to tap out of Fluster, though. Makes me wish I had a Surveil land I can go get. Yeah, I'm gonna... So it's tough, because, like, I want to play a Surveil land. Maybe instead of a Tundra, I play a Surveil land. A blue-white Surveil land. I really wanted to get a second island in my deck, so... They revealed a stock up. Okay, so we definitely won't be playing flow state. I'm gonna go get... I mean, I'm still gonna go get a land, though. Tinker. Don't have any artifacts at the moment, but we do have a flow state turned on for next turn. So yeah, it looks like maybe a Grixis PO deck. Sapphire. I'm still beating stock up Fluster. So because I have the extra mana advantage, so if my opponent goes and flusters my Fluster, I actually still win. Mental Misstep 1. And then what? And then Fluster 2 copies. Wow, okay, nice play. I don't have the mana to do that, so now my opponent, I have 2 copies. The storm count is higher, so you can go 3 and 2 and resolve it. Oh, nice little play. Yeah, okay. So they've resolved a stock up, have a bit of a mana advantage. Tough for them to take a force off this, unless they have force stock up, maybe. So if we hit Moxen, we'll probably just jam Tinker. No, we have our flow state to try to get us 2 cards that matter, so it's not the end of the world by any means. All right. They have a nice PO setup, though. Portable hole. Interesting. All right, I'm going to go flow state. Mind break trap stock up. Not the force we were looking for. I'm going to portable hole the thunder trap trainer. I think making sure my opponent doesn't have access to flame is better than a random mox, but unclear. Obviously, a lot of value in POing back trainers. So. Though I guess flaming my portable hole and getting a trainer trigger is not that bad. Not that bad either. So black. Our deck is not the same level of counter magic as the previous tests we've done with like the full 8 forces. I feel like when you're not, you know, all your spells are on all my spells are on my turn, so I don't feel like I'm getting the full advantage of playing full negations. And Koval had some issues where like negation doesn't line up for some parts of the format. So here's a DT. They've already used Ancestral. So what is this DT for? In a Lurrus deck, so he can't like tinker at Citadel here. Probably not like Saga, right? Oh, I guess we could just die to Breach. Though I guess we have Mind Break Trap, so we should be okay against Breach, right? Also, I think they played a land, yeah. So they'd have to have like another Mox to breach us. Or maybe they're just gonna breach us for Ancestral here. Not unreasonable. And you can always buy it back with Lurrus later. So I will just trap the Ancestral, and we should be pretty happy about that. Did I? Yeah, they played C, Demonic, Breach, Ancestral. Okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't miscount my Mind Break Trap again. YouTube comments were roasting me the other day. They do have Breach and Demonic Tutor in their yard though for Lurrus, but we drew that. So, do we want to tinker off of our portable hole, giving them a Thunder Trap trigger? I think it should be fine. Kind of an odd play, but can give them force off of it. But again, like, should just win the game with this, right? They got PO. Here's Mana Crypt, Sapphire, Jet, Academy, Flow State, Stock Up Lorien. Yeah, we're good here. All right. I mean, if we can get back into a world of tinkering, wouldn't that be nice? For me, in terms of my percentage chance of winning, not in terms of gameplay. All right, on to round 2. I am kind of enjoying the ability to just resolve tinkers. Though, I don't know, I still feel like maybe more counter magic might be good. But maybe the Vexing Bauble will help in that sense. We could also, I'd love to see like a true power draw of like a bunch of mana rocks, Vexing Bauble, balance. That'd be pretty fun. This I'm just feeling a little nostalgic from the playing this deck just because it's very similar to the decks that I learned to play Vintage on, that I got famous playing Vintage on. Obviously those decks played PO. But you know, when you're a Tinker PO deck, PO was always your plan B. Your main goal was always, can I tutor for a Tinker and resolve it, get a bowl as a Citadel and playing. So won a lot of money with Tinker over the years, so it'd be pretty fun to be able to play Tinker again. And to be fair, I do think that Tinker has been playable this whole time with, you know, Lurrus available, but it's tough to convince, you know, the person I am nowadays to play like the more volatile combo deck over the controlling deck that gives you game in any scenario. But I really am happy they printed this flow state card, even if it ends up being like, oh, okay, the FLS shell isn't the best thing in the world. It actually, you know, doesn't actually make you lean towards a stronger direction, and maybe makes you more vulnerable. Just the fact that it was printed, it exists, and it is close enough to, you know, make me feel like, wow, I need to do a whole bunch of testing to verify the strength and the configurations in Vintage is crazy and awesome. We're, you know, a month out from the last ever NYSE, the last tournament ever that will probably pay out, you know, 8 pieces of power, top 8. There's likely never to be another tournament like it ever again, and this, you know, we're a month away and the format is in complete flux. No one knows what the metagame will shake up and look like at the end of this, which is extremely exciting. Gonna force a will hand. Gonna keep it against a no Lurrus reveal, but there is a Chancellor, so the force is down. If it's a Void Mirror protected from force, no, it's a Mana Crypt. also have a white source, or do you play a Karn on turn 1? Turn 1 Karn with Chancellor Protection. All right. If they follow up with a Cavern Creature, that could be a problem. But just a Karn is just a one-sided null rod, really. So, though it makes my Tellurian Academy pretty bad. I will probably... Yeah, we'll probably throw the Ruby to the Void here. Just because it's going to be dead to Karn anyways, and dead to Karn anyways. That way we can resolve our Manifold Key. So our Tellurian Academy might make some mana next turn. We can, if we don't force, we can go Mystical into Ancestral maybe. One thing my deck does not have is I do not have a chain or something that, you know, like on a road or something that just straight up answers Karn. I'm kind of hoping to like counter Karn is more my plan. But we could go something like Tinker, Citadel, Mentor, Time Walk, that kind of thing. So do I want to counter Chrome Box to prevent my opponent from having white mana? No, I don't think so. My opponent wants to get rid of a white card to cast white cards. I think that's acceptable. I have to force this one, I think. Void Mirror does also turn off my my thing, so and then what? And then Archon. All right. I mean, this is an incredible power mono white draw. Void Mirror, 5 mana, Archon, turn 1 card on the play with protection from the Chancellor. I mean, that's a high roll. That's like me untapping next game and going turn 1 Tinker. We're really far away from doing anything in this game. We don't even have a sword in our deck at all. Okay, we have a balance, but like, is a balance really gonna get the job done? You know. I think our main deck is a little weak to mono white. They do have a Mana Crypt and an Ancient Tomb. They might not be able to erase it. This is a Seasoned Engineer. That will certainly help you race it. I don't know. I don't know how much we need to respect mono white. Like, I don't really like chain as much in these like Citadel Karn versions. Sink in a Stupor could be played so we have a card, but don't know that that's the right idea. Oh, my opponent killed off their Mana Crypt with Karn. Yeah, that's a way to do it. Unfortunately, we're like so far away from doing anything. All of our lands come into play tapped because of Archon of Emeria. So my opponent doesn't have any way to die anymore. Yeah, I don't know. We're pretty far from being able to do anything. We have to tutor, and we're going to be we're dead on the next attack. So we're not even going to be able to tutor for anything or do anything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing a vision here. I'm not seeing a line. Just too many cards. And there wasn't really much I could have done differently. Could have maybe countered the Chrome Mox. I didn't think my opponent would have a Void Mirror too, though I guess I'm like really low on outs if I counter Chrome Mox and my opponent plays a Void Mirror. Like, then I can't even do a Tinker Citadel. We're going to be doing a very different post-board plan here where we bring in like Portal instead. Stone Coil, Serpent, Cavern. I also was like really trying to avoid, you know, if I counter my Chrome Box, my opponent just plays a white land, it just is really silly. So lots of things like that. Yeah, I mean, I can't really do anything. Even if I think I need to just get a Tundra with this in case I hit my one outer in balance. Obviously, I can't DT, but okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a high roll. Hopefully we can come back. Let's see. I'm gonna do Portal. I'm gonna have Portal and Citadel because we're on the play. So being able to tinker Citadel is still really good on if we can get ahead, but definitely want to give an option to Portal. Karn is possible to keep in on the play, but we are gonna be bringing in 4 swords and a portable hole. So, and even like maybe a Hercules recall, maybe Consign on the play, maybe this. Like there's a lot of cards I'm thinking about bringing in. So I'm gonna think about taking out probes, some flow states. I think these flow states are just not going to be it in this matchup. I want all my lands. I want all my counters. I got Vexing Bauble on the play. I want to bring in all of the removal. Probably don't need Hercules on the play. So let's try taking flow state out here and just try to play a little bit more robust. Yep, that's a hand that has no mana. That's a hand that has mana, but not much going on. Can't imagine I'm supposed to put back a Saga with a Mox, but it is definitely weak. They have another Chancellor opener, but not a huge deal because we're on the play this time. And we can hit their first accelerant. So as long as we don't get wastelanded, I think our game is good. If we get wastelanded, we have to draw some good cards. Actually, kind of wish we have flow state. Also of note, we like have 3 Tundras to work with here. No basic planes. Definitely going to always hit Mana Crypt if I'm presented the opportunity. My opponent's hand was Mana Crypt Black Lotus. Unlucky. I've had some powerful mono white opponents recently. Chancellor, Black Lotus, Mana Crypt opener, huh? Witch Enchanter. This is a Witch Enchanter. So that means they didn't have another land, or they could have just gone Witch Enchanter, kill my Saga. Vexing Bauble as well. Wow. Incredible. Mana Crypt, Lotus, White Source, Vexing Bauble. And then Anointed Peacekeeper, naming Saga. Wow. Okay, yeah, I mean... that's crazy work, but... it's fine. I have nothing going for me here. Very little going on here. But they don't have any more fast mana, maybe. It's okay. We draw swords immediately. We still get a... oh, that's an interesting one. Okay. Let's see how this plays out. Hitting the Mana Crypt is still really good. The Lotus goes away. Caracas. We don't care about that. And a Void Mirror. Okay. We will not be Citadeling. But that's why we brought in our portal. Obviously not blocking that. And we immediately do not have a thing. We can go get a Sensei's Top, though. That's a pretty good one. Stock up. See what we can find off that. Stock up Sensei's Top seems like the way. And this is not a good attack. So let's see if they have another land on 3-drop. That would be a problem. They can crack their Bauble now, though. They have a Void Mirror. Definitely not sacrificing a Monk for a Peacekeeper block to save some life. Are they going to crack their Bauble? They're looking for an Ancient Tomb or any land, really. Now we only have to answer 1 portable hole to get zeros going. Consign. I'm interested in starting with a stock up. Swords. Okay, my opponent's just out. They said, I see you have given some resistance. I don't like that. I'm out of here. This will be pretty good. Crack. White Source. Portable Hole. The Void Mirror. Keep a Force. Or maybe we just take Time Walk. I don't know. All these cards are winning. I've noticed that mono white players and dredge players, they love to concede because they don't want to play the game anymore. I'm gonna get rid of this Bolus of Citadel because I'm gonna be on the draw here, and I will just get a Hercules recall and see if that helps me at all. Let's try that. So we still have access to portal. See if opponent has another strong draw. I mean, we just beat Chancellor, Lotus, Mana Crypt, Vexing Bauble hand. This one's a classic. A classic Time Vault in the opener. Not doing anything. No Moxen. We do have a Swords and some mana and Time Walk. I mean, I have a hard time putting this back. I kind of want to make sure that these hands do, in fact, win games versus mono white. We'll see. Obviously, like, pretty rough into, I don't know, turn 1 Archon, but... They kept a 6 with no Chancellor. They have an Ancient Tomb, Void Mirror. Null Rod, perfect. That's actually great for us. I'm okay with this. Not great for us. I shouldn't say great for us, but that is a thing that we are not super worried about. We go for Tundra, so I can hold up Swords. If they wasteland me, I can just get another Tundra. Cavern. Archon? Archon. Cool. I'm just going to source this thing. This has been my experience with their weaker draws. If we get another land, then we can just stock up right away. If not, then we have Lorien at least. Hit a land. All right, cool. I'm down to just stock up. Don't want to play Vexing Bauble. Oh, I kept Vexing Bauble in. I should not have kept Vexing Bauble in at all. I don't know what I would bring in, but Vexing Bauble on the draw is obviously bad. Think I will just take one of the lands and the Lotus. The reason is because I do have 2 portable holes. I can answer that. Now, Yogwell Swords will not do it against another Archon, but it looks like this is a Cleric. So are we initiating or are we Peacekeeper? Initiative, okay. All right. Now, I can't really steal the initiative back without Mentor, so that's kind of a problem, but we're just looking at combo kill our opponent mostly. Don't think we're on the Yogwell plan yet. We'd like to get a fetch into our yard. I think this one's just going to be... Let's get a Time Vault in play. Because next turn we could always... I don't know. I'm a little worried that we are running out of time and we don't have enough action. Our stock up was really bad, right? Our stock up was 5 mana. It's not ideal. Opponent is in the Lost Well. They went bottom in the Lost Well. Man, this dead wobble draw is pretty bad. What could it have been instead? I mean, none of these things are very good. A flow state, I guess. Actually, a flow state would have been pretty good. If it was a flow state, it would have been a lot better. So that's on me. Sorry about that. A wasteland. That's really good here. Just gonna keep us from... Oh, they're not even gonna bother. Okay. A force. I think I'm just gonna cast this Lorien Revealed. Okay, we have Force, we have Vault Key, and we have DT for Portable Hole. So if we can make it to our turn with a lot of, anything going on, we should be good here. The big thing to worry about is Archon. I don't have a great way to play around Archon, though. We might just squeak our way out of this with opponent having a kind of a weak draw and then not wastelanding us. If opponent had wastelanded us, we probably would have lost this game. All right. DT. Portable Hole. Portable Hole. I have force backup. I could play Bauble to play around Trap. I can still crack Bauble, so if they have like March of the Otherworldly Light, I can crack Bauble. Nothing. I feel a little lucky there. Don't know. That one did not inspire a ton of confidence, but I did draw like a dead Bauble that I could have been a flow state if I had just paid more attention sideboarding, so. Okay, welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to round now 4. Unfortunately, our round 3 opponent did not show up to play Magic, so you're only gonna get 4 Tinker, 4 Tinker matches here. But no, maybe on our way to a possible trophy, we gotta win 2 more rounds. That's not always easy, and by not always easy, I mean it's never actually easy. But we're off stream, so you know anything could happen. Let's see. Opponent chose to play first, and we are waiting to see if they keep or reveal Lurrus, maybe? I don't know. Our hand does have Lotus Stock Up, which is not always my favorite play, but it is a play we can make. We have 3 lands. I don't know. I don't mind this hand if we are against Dredge, but if we're against Jewel, it could be pretty bad. Let's try it for science. You know, you have to play something like half your games without force, so, or at least half your opening hands don't have force. It was less than 50% with just 4 forces of will, but obviously a little bit, maybe a little bit above 50% when you have some negations going on. Ah, okay, so it's Oath. Oath is a matchup I'm reasonably happy to play against here. We will have to get a little aggressive with our stock up and try to find some action and some counter action because opponent's deck is a powerful one as well. Wow, binning an Oath of Druids. Either they already have an Oath of Druids or they don't have an Orchard and they think it's not going to be on. There's a force immediately. It's cool. All right, let's just go with Lotus Stock Up. And then we still have the ability to find a blue sort card if this gets countered. I guess I shouldn't run into Daze, though. I should probably just play a land and not run into Daze. This got forced. Pitching Atraxa. That's fine. I don't think that's, like, amazing for us by any means, but it is at least 1 force moved from the opponent. I play a non-fetch land here because I want to be able to, you know, get rid of the top cards with my fetch land, so... They don't know about this force. They have Ancestral. Could hit a Mental Misstep. Could hit a blue card. I hit neither of those. Don't really like this. Interesting. Definitely interested in balance to try to get some cards out of my opponent's hand here. Because the Karn will still be pretty decent. This is just take 3 cards out of your opponent's hand. It's not too bad. Or take 2 if they force it. Nope, just got Orchard Stock Up. Interesting. Did this Ancestral Recall draw them all these orchards and they just binned an Oath? Hmm. No force. Wow. All right, well. I think we're in trouble. I think we're in trouble. We just found no blue card. How many blue cards are in our deck? We have a lot, right? Because we have flow state. 4, 8, 12, 16, 19, 26. We have a ton. We have a huge amount. Show and tell. Well, I do have a swords in my... Wait, I don't have a swords in my deck. Oh wait, this doesn't put a card into play. Never mind. Ah, Rapid Mickey. I mean, I guess I got. I don't know. Like, I looked at how many cards to try to find a blue card and just missed. It's sad. What did I choose to do? I chose to balance there. I could have instead chose to fetch and spin. Maybe I should have done that instead. I should have done that instead. I should have spun to start, see if I had a blue card, and if I didn't have no, because then I would have to. I'm gonna concede. I don't actually have a play here. Yeah, I don't know. That just feels like a bad. Feels just unfortunate. I'm gonna bring in Portable Hole. I'm gonna bring in Containment Priest. Gonna keep a lot of this stuff. Island can go. I don't think I'm ever like bringing in Portal. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Trap is good though. Balance is not actually any good. I do actually still like Karn if I can get to Karn, but it is hard to get to Karn. All right, I don't know. We'll try this. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to bring in like Portal as an option, but I feel like if I get Atraxa resolves, I'm not trying to beat a resolved Atraxa, so like we could go that route. I just don't think it's the way we should approach the matchup. So yeah, maybe I was supposed to not balance 3 cards out of my opponent's hand, and I instead was supposed to just spin my fetch and spin, try to find a new blue card. It's a pretty high chance to find a blue card though, as my 3rd card down as well. I mean this hand slaps. We do have to be worried about Besiju, but Moxes and lands off the top are Tinker with Force backup. Not that one. I guess I don't have an instant in my yard. So like what am I really upgrading to here? I think I'd rather just hold it for force. Well, unfortunately I won't be able to protect from Flusterstorm now though. But maybe they'll go for Oath. Ugh, Thoughtseize. That's like the worst case scenario. Force backed up Thoughtseize? Let's see. Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean they had a good hand anyways. We tried, but Lorien Revealed is not a land. Also lost out on our flow state now. Don't have another piece of action. Into Ancestral? Okay, well. Our opponents have had some strong hands today. Lots of power. I think have we casted Ancestral yet? I want to cast Ancestral. It seems good. Soul Ring. I have a lot of mana. My mana doesn't do anything. My opponent plays Show and Tell here, I just die again. I don't know. Thoughtseize with Force backup. We couldn't get our turn 1 Tinker with Force backup. The Tinker would have done it if we could have got there. They kept a card on top. That's probably means we're dead. Don't use my Portable Hole into Oath. Into Orchard Oath. Wow. I mean, Thoughtseize is... Oh, no, Oath. Okay. Thoughtseize has looked great. That's a pretty strong draw as well. So what is this Yogwill looking like here? This Yogwill is looking like 1, 2... I'm short on being able to tinker off of this Yogwill. It's probably not good enough then. Not a single fetch, huh? Because Lorien. I guess then in that case, our best card is Ancestral or Stock Up or Flow State or Containment Priest, maybe? Karn? Not like I have a card I can get with Karn that is actually any good. Stock Up and Flow State will play into Flusterstorm for 3 total. Only Stock Up will. I'm just gonna get Ancestral. Mentor Citadel. I'm a black source away from Citadel. I do have another Underground Sea in my deck, and I also have a Lotus. This is an end of turn vamp. I have to fluster this because it can be Oath. So I wanted to keep fluster for show and tell or stock up. DT for Oath anyways. Okay, you got it. Well, I have one turn here to win. Okay. Stock up is a good one. Let's go off Academy. Well, can I... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down to 4. I'm worried that if I went off of Tundra, I might draw Containment Priest or Portable Hole, which are outs. And I'm worried if I go off of Underground Sea, then I can't cast Citadel with, like, I guess, Mox Fetch. It's probably just that. Also, we can just get enough spells to cast and kill with Mentor. Those do not look like enough spells to cast to kill with Mentor. Stop. So I can go Lorien revealed, but then I'm still pretty far away. So I guess I will go Stock Up Lorien revealed. This is not close to winning yet. It's only 8 damage, 9 damage. There's my Containment Priest, but I have no Mox. So I guess I can do a Pro Brainstorm though to try to win. Is Mentor just gonna clutch this one? Looks like it might. Wow, Mentor clutched it. Sick. Yeah, I mean, we would've got another couple spells too. Okay, I mean, not bad. Not bad at all. Still think Vexing Bauble's good here. Let me take this Karn out on the draw. I can put the flow state back in. I'm a little worried still, but we have some decent cards. Would have loved that Tinker, huh? Excuse me. We got the job done, though. Ancestral to Mentor. Okay, so what does this hand entail? This hand entails a Portable Hole answer to Oath. A vamp. This hand is just like so weak, right? Like it's so weak. Doesn't have a force. Opponent mulliganed. It's pretty good against Thoughtseize because none of my cards are any good. I don't want to like mulligan into a force hand and then get Thoughtseize and feel silly though. I'll try keeping this hand. I don't know if this hand's actually keepable against Oath. It might just not be. Just like we saw 2 Thoughtseizes, and if I have mulligan here, how good is it? Like we have a direct answer to Oath. We're like super weak to show and tell is the problem. My opponent's just gonna Lotus show and tell me. Kept a blue mana so I can have Flusterstorm for show and tell. At least we get the Vamp, I guess. Oh, it's Citadel. Oh. And another show and tell. Okay. Hopefully they just brick or something. Ah, Atraxa. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like opponents have just been doing a lot better stuff than we have. So my opponent can take Mox and then show and tell again. They also have Besage You, which is a good answer to my Tinker plan. They also have Orchard Oath, so maybe they'll do that. We'll see what they choose to do here. No forces off of this. So I think this game is still technically winnable, which is crazy. Atraxa, Orchard, Show and Tell, Ruby, Oath. Okay. Are you going Oath or are you going Show? I would probably go Show, right? Like, Tinker? Sure. Top, I guess. I haven't seen Citadel in Oath in a while. I always liked it in the Oath deck because it kind of complements what you're doing. Wait, they got Sapphire. Okay, they played land off the top. So they're just trying to clear the top, I guess. They can still play Oath. Oh, they can actually play Show and Tell and Oath now. Oh, they're passing. Passing. Your hand is Oath, Show, Orchard, Atraxa. You think they had maybe a negation in their hand and they were just trying to get to negation mana? I feel like we want to cast Vamp. Fluster was the card on top. I mean, we have a Time Walk still. They're at 6. It's not going to be good enough. They bricked on top to a Fluster. Man, what is it like? I think we're going to die. Unless we natural into Vault Keys or Tinkers. Okay. Probe. All right, let's see what your 5th card is, I guess. They have a Fluster in their hand. All right, so they had turn 1 show and tell Citadel with Flusterstorm backup. Man, what is it like? So they could have played Oath. Oh, I guess playing Oath gives me a creature, so I probably don't want to do that. Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, I think I need to get my Time Walk countered anyways, so. All right, so my opponent still has Show and Tell Atraxa. Man, we were just getting nothing going here. I will put this in play on my opponent's extra blue mana, I guess. Don't know that anything matters at this point, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, even if I had a negation, I would have had to have, if I had a force, I would have had to force Black Lotus because my opponent just had Luster. So I kind of would have had to have a force trap hand because I don't think I'm ever forcing the Lotus. Feels way too greedy. All right. Well, sometimes you get vintaged. No trophy for us. The real Tinker Citadel deck. DT? Orchard Time Walk? Yeah, it seems all right. I think my opponent's still supposed to be show and telling Atraxa to get a force. But I mean, it depends on what's on the top of their library. Gaia's Blessing, back, Time Walk, Lotus. Abrupt Decay came in. Interesting. Yeah, he kills Portable. I got nothing. Maybe they'll randomly die to Citadel somehow. I think once they know I have nothing, they should just show and tell on Atraxa to find force. Though, stock up probably finds force anyways. But actually, I don't have an artifact anymore to tinker, so I don't know that I have outs. Ancestral into something good, obviously, is reasonable. Okay, I'm out here. All right, I've been bested. The true tinkerer. Okay, here we go. Fifth and final round of this vintage league. We've only gotten to play 4 rounds, obviously, but that's okay. Here we have the forces that we needed to beat our last round's opponent. Hopefully the opponent is not on dredge. Okay, Underground Sea. Doomsday? Maybe Doomsday? Our hand's not actually that good against Doomsday because we don't have a clock. What is Doomsday? Not the best. Maybe we'll draw Time Vault. We're down for a CRK at some point, right? Another force. I am not thrilled with where we are at in this game. Vampiric Tutor. Street Wraith. Ancestral on my turn with. Black Lotus. This seems like a pretty all-in maneuver. I'm gonna force this. Force backup, pitching misstep. I'm gonna force this and leave myself with stock up. Okay. Opponent's down to 2 cards. We have 1 card, and I have a stock up. They have a ponder. Okay. I mean, if we hit the mana and cast the stock up, I think we're in an okay spot. If we miss, it's probably a rough one. They did have the Doomsday with the force backup, so I can see the vision. I'm not upset with the line. Opponent now has to rebuild their 2-card combo. Though they can have a land and it's a 1-card combo. They kept their ponder, though. Flow state does not get us where we need to be. We don't have anything here. Oh, negation is... I think negation makes more sense than DT. DT for Time Vault is still multiple turns away. So I think I'd rather just have negation for now. And then we can refill with stock up and have blue cards. Ritual. Doomsday. Damn. All right. Well, we've had 3 forces, so. All right. Opponent's 2-card combo again. Stopped again. Interesting. Not bad. But they still probably have a cantrip after all this. Yeah. Consider. That means they're probably on the... Bidding Flusterstorm is interesting. They're probably on the flow state line. No Lurrus to buy for us. 3rd Doomsday. Blue, flow state. Oh, Oracle. What? No shot. I'm not casting Oracle there. I don't really like that one. They kept a card on top, so now they can't fetch. Time Vault. CRK. Mystical Tutor for a Tinker is not bad. Let's see what opponent kept on top here. Oh, they fetched. Okay. So now they're going to surveil land. So they're going to have 1 card with the knowledge of their top card if they want to surveil it. They kept a card on top. What do you got? They kept it on top, but it's not a Doomsday or a cantrip? Here it comes. It's Ancestral Recall. Hey. I don't think we're supposed to respond to that with Mystical Tutor and give them the knowledge that they're going to die. If they don't have anything. Obviously, we can get Flusterstormed or Misstepped, but actually we can't get Misstepped because they already exiled Misstep. 3 unknowns on the opponent's side. Can still be lands, can still be dark rituals. Looks like a delve spell. Time Walk. Okay, yeah, I guess so. I am being scammed. Fetch land. I think I'm not going to go for Tinker anymore. It just feels heavily likely to not resolve. Probably just going to go for Ancestral because we can play it through Flusterstorm. Going for Tinker is just too risky. They could and we're not like at risk of mental missteps, so if they have hardcast negation, they have hardcast negation, that's fine. They force pitch blue card, that's also fine. There's my Tinker anyways. Interesting. Okay, I'd like to see if I can play around Flusterstorm on this, and so I'm gonna go with top. Then I'm gonna do blind top draw with key. So now I have the ability to play Tinker next turn with the ability to pay for a fluster. Like they can have upwards of two more flusters in their main. They might have only one, but we can tinker our top now instead, which would let us go Volt Key. Oh, they have Consult EOT for Doomsday. I mean, if they have Cantrip after, we die. What did they consult for? They consulted for Doomsday. Did they hit their other Oracle? No. It's pretty lucky as well. Man, I can't believe they didn't hit their other Oracle. Is that a thing that only happens to me? All right, well, I'm not going to use my top until I see my opponent pass a cantrip after this. Because I can't really win the game if I mean, I don't even have... I have one negation and 2 forces left in my deck. It's pretty bad no matter what. Opponent got risky. I don't know. I mean, I guess if my opponent didn't have a Flusterstorm, then the Tinker was probably, Tinker might have won. But it feels like tough to jam into that. They could obviously have gone Consult for Force as well if they had a blue card. They are missing 1 Force. They had another blue card in hand. Like say they're holding a cantrip this turn. If they're holding a cantrip this turn and they have a blue card in their hand, they can always demonic for Force there. I felt like we were making some decent advantage. Interesting. You're going to go for Ancestral. That might mean they're making it past the turn pile, because I feel like you would go for Gush if you had a cantrip right now. Unless you have a Flusterstorm right now and you're trying to hold that up. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're building the redundant pile of like Gush and Ancestral, but that's already like less good. In a scenario where you're doing it past the turn. No, that's not true. I don't know. Don't know. So we see one more fluster in the yard. Wait, no. Only 1, 2, 3 forces. They put a force in the pile. There was a negation. Okay, past the turn pile. I really kind of... There's also a fluster missing. At least 1 fluster missing, if not 2 flusters missing. So let's see if our maybe playing around fluster got us the win here. Though I guess if they make me pay, I can't go for Time Vault. I have to go for Citadel. I could just like go for Citadel. I could just like eat the key and go for Citadel. But then again, we still... I don't know. Because if they make me pay, then I have to go for Citadel anyways. But I can have Citadel with top. That's probably just better. So I think I am just going to go with Tinker off of the key. And keep my top. Because I have 14 cards at least. Or not at least, at most. I feel like they just had the fluster this whole time and I made the right call. We'll see. That's my gut instinct. Now, if they have it right now, well, they had force. Pitching fluster. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty good at this game. So they had force fluster backup for their Doomsday. That's crazy work. All right, so I'm going to go spinning for this. I have found a force. But I will not have a land drop to give, so I could still lose. I could instead try to beat their pile. Let's take a quick peek again. Force. I feel like they're going to Ancestral into maybe a Thoughtseize or a Flusterstorm. I think I'd rather risk it on the top of my library. See how lucky we are. Mox. There's a flow state. That's a good sign. Karn. Misty DT Karn. Okay. Immediately. DT Shuffle. We can get a Mental Misstep, though, because we know Ancestral is their top card. I guess we don't know that. They could have Gush as their top card instead of Ancestral. I think we're supposed to just take this Mental Misstep. It's the only card we can keep that does... I mean, we could Probe to have one less brick on Citadel. So if it's Gush... If their pile is Gush on top, and it's like Ancestral Oracle, then they can just play the Oracle. Hell, if their top card is Oracle, they can just play the Oracle. Okay, I think Mental Misstep doesn't do it. I'm just gonna go with Probe to give me more ways through lands. Mana Crypt. There's a land on top immediately. Okay. Mental Misstep on top. All right. The Citadel was not kind to me. Hopefully there's an Ancestral on top of their library. I feel like it's Gush. Unless I missed Gush somewhere in here. Oh, it was Ancestral. No more instance. We know there's a Yogwill. We could be going to 4 or something. This game is not even over. That's crazy. I could just put 2 lands on top and draw 1 land and play a land. And then maybe just Yogwill for DT Volkey. Yeah, that should work. I can't believe they built an Ancestral pile. That's crazy, isn't it? Shouldn't they just build Gosh? Maybe they're worried about Vexing Bauble or something. Oh, I can probably be pretty close to a Citadel win too. Let's see, if I lose this flip, I'm gonna go to 4, but I can just Tinker it away, and I have a Volkey, so I win this game. I think my opponent, it can't be correct to build an Ancestral pile, right? Because I could have DT'd for a Mental Misstep there. I just thought that they wouldn't build the Ancestral pile, so... Not sure. But... I did go to 4. I play this off the top. Then I go to 1 off a Yogwill. And then I just Tinker into Time Vault. Manifold Key. Cool. That was a weird game of Magic the Gathering. I don't know how I feel about that one. Bring in these consigns. Bring in this Mindbreak Trap. Take out Portable Hole. I think I'm going to keep Balance. Take out Island. Take out Karn? Maybe? Maybe Karn? I don't know about that one. Yeah, Karn seems tough. Let's just go like this. All right, I'm in. Force into Tinker. We also can Time Walk to get our land drop as well. Oh. Oh my. Oh, I guess I just ran into Daze. Probably fine. I'm definitely gonna jam here for sure. No land drop to give, but this is the thing I can do that is the most powerful, so we should do it. Cool. Resolve to Citadel, still have Force. Now we're the Citadel gamer, the true Tinkerer. Stock up. Blusterstorm, stock up. Oh, we just bricked, but we could cycle this. It's pretty powerful. There we go. Ooh. Rainstorm. Yeah, I mean, Brainstorm pretty good here. Stock up. I'm gonna take Mental Misstep Fluster. All right, Probe you. Murktide, Time Walk, Necro, Ponder, Underground Sea. That is not the same level of power as what we're doing here. But we are actually out of stuff. I can't untap into anything good because we drew every land in our deck basically. So not great. Not great. I assume they're gonna Time Walk. I will probably just go with lose 5, force off the top. Ooh. This goes to 4. This vamp puts me to 4 and then puts me to 2, and then I have all these backups, so it's fine. All right. Infinite turns. Okay, beat up on Doomsday. Not bad. Not bad. So we went 3-1 with a bye for a solid 4-1. Balance was like medium. Bobble was make. We actually didn't really see a lot of our flexible cards, but our core engine worked pretty well. I don't know that I feel that this is like much better than it was before we added flow states to it, but having a much higher blue count and a little bit more draws, like it makes a difference, you know? I don't know that portable hole is like the right answer over chain or sink into super. Don't know if we want maybe to have one less Lorien revealed for one more sink into super or something like that. Don't know. Um, those are the kind of things I'm thinking about. I really don't know that this Karn is a good card to have in our deck. That's a card I don't know about either. Could just like cut Karn and cut Sphinx, maybe get a Plains in our sideboard, go to Flooded Strands. That's possible. Maybe we just get, you know, like I said, the Sink into Stupor or some kind of bounce spell in the main. But I have been happy with the FLS shell here. I don't think it wants more negations. It could play maybe another Flusterstorm. It's possible. At least I guess portable holes are a Squelcher answer, which is kind of cute. Where I don't have to play swords. I'm thinking a little bit about how Squelcher fares into this kind of stuff, and Squelcher does seem like it's really good, which is really annoying because like if I make this, you know, oh man, I'm trying out flow state. I made a whole cool new shell that everyone's gonna use for cool different decks, FLS, and then the whole meta just rotates back to my stock Jeskai PO list, and I'm like, well, what am I even doing here? But this was fun, a good experiment. Let me know what you think. What is the best FLS shell? What should I continue testing? Do you think it's worth, you know, maybe registering at NYC in a month from now? I want to hear your thoughts. Until then, more vintage content on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.